Hello, I'm Carl at Trout Fly Fishing, and today we're going to tie a fly from Landon Mayer's book, Guide Flies, Easy to Tie Patterns for Tough Trout. This one is called Shop Callibaetis. So the hook we're going to use today is a TMC 100 in size 14. That's their standard dry fly hook. And our thread is Danville's Flymaster 6/0 in tan. And we'll get our thread started about a third of the way down the hook shank and wrap back to the start of the bend of the hook. And when we get there, we're going to take a few extra wraps to form a little raised ball where we tie in our tail. Okay, so here's the mayfly tails. The color is tan. They are made by Hairline. I've also used black and white barred. We just want two. They're really fine. And we want them to be even, of course. And we want these to be about twice the length of the hook shank. Mayfly tails tend to be long. Take a loose wrap and make sure we've got them up on top where we want them. That looks pretty good. We'll lock those down. There we go. And wrap back to the base of those tails. Just separating them here a little bit. And the body of the fly is Hairline Turkey Biot quills, and the color is Callibaetis. It's kind of a tan color. And we'll separate out just one Biot. Cut off the brittle tip and tie this in the side of the hook. Get an even body going with our thread. Okay, now we're going to take that Biot and we're going to get it in between these two tails if we can pick them apart. There we go, sort of. There. We'll get our trusty hackle pliers out. And we'll wrap this forward. These Biots give a nice segmentation to the body, as you can see. And when we reach our tie-in point, I'll capture that, tie it off. Now we'll go back and manipulate the tail and get it where we want it. And next we're going to take just a dab of Zap-A-Gap, put it on the end of our bodkin, and dab it in here between the tail. A little more, I think. And when that sets up, those will stay in position. And the wing for this fly is Hairline Scud Back 1/8 inch in gray. It's a really wimpy, floppy, slippery material, and it can test your patience to tie in. I'm going to try something a little unorthodox. So this material is really very flexible, and you might struggle to tie it in place. I certainly have, as you can see here. So in struggling with that wing, I put a little bit of super glue across the back to hold it in place, and seems to make it much easier to get that wing to lay just the way you want it to. I'm pretty happy with that. So the next material we're going to tie in is going to be the post, and that is some Mcflylon Polypro in the color pink. some sparkle emerger yarn, and the color cream. This is just a sighter for the fly. When there's a lot of bugs on the water, it's pretty hard sometimes to pick out your fly from the natural creatures, and this is going to make it much easier. So we're going to wrap the material around the thread like that, and we're going to paint just a little bit of super glue right here, and then stand it up on the post. And we're going to tie this on top. We're going to wrap it around our thread like so. I'm going to take this super glue and just paint it along the bottom of the material. Bring it up over the top of the fly. And that should hold it in place. Wet your fingers a little bit, pull that material up, keep it out of your way while we tie in our hackle. So the hackle for this fly is going to be some dark bar ginger and some grizzly. So here's a whiting dry fly cape in dark bar ginger, and a whiting saddle hackle in grizzly. And I've got a couple pieces that are already sized to the size 14 hook. So we'll prepare these as we always do by snipping off some barbules on either side of the stem, leaving some short stubbles there to give us something to purchase on. Won't pull out, and we're going to tie that in right behind our wing. And then we're going to do the same thing with the dark bar ginger. And jump our thread forward to our eye, just let that hang. And we'll take 2 wraps behind the wing and 2 wraps in front. Capture our material. Get rid of our excess here. And now the tan, same thing. 2 wraps behind. 1, 2, and 2 in front. Capture our material. Cut off our excess. 4 or 5 turn whip finish. Seat our knot. Cut our thread. And we want the sighter to be about 1/4 of an inch taller than what the hackle is. Cut that off like so. And the wings, we want those to be cut on a little bit of an angle, so one like that, like that, and a little head cement. Our fly is finished.